Hello students, welcome to NEET World. This is Narayani, I am your foundation biology educator. So today's session, in last session, previous session we have discussed about the level 1 part 1 questions. So remaining questions we will solve today. And before we entering into the session, I would like to announce very important news for you children. Here we notice that we are starting the foundation summer camp course after every 15 days. The batches are already started children. So in these 15 days of summer camp, providing for the class of 6 to 10 people, 10 students who are the upcoming of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, we are providing this summer camp foundation course. So what we are going to discussing in this foundation summer camp is, in the first 10 days we are going to cover the all core concepts of the, especially regarding the exams of NEET and JEE level basic examinations, and what are the basics you need to you need to prepare for the, you have to good basics for the exams of NEET and JEE. We are going to cover the 10 days of core concepts of subjects are physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics, and 2 days of activity based learning will be there. So the 2 days we are going to through activities you get to understand the concept very quickly, as you know always, and one day we are conducting the quiz, then you check the efficiency, how much you improved from the last. And coming to the 14th day, we are keeping the cumulative assessment of physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics. So we are keeping the 4 subjects of cumulative assessment of overlearn test. And coming to the 15th day, which is one of the very important day children. So we are giving you the career guidance program for one-on-one interactions. Thereby you can have the chosen path of yours, to achieve that what you have the right exams will be there. So we will provide you the career guidance program on the last day. This is our 15 days schedule of the foundation summer camp children. So first 1 week classes are free, so you can happily join with our foundation summer camp. And children, the foundation summer camp is both offline also and online also. For offline people, you can happily come to your institute name called NEET World, present in Hyderabad, Narayani near metro station. Coming to the who want to join through online children, down scrolling number is there, no children, contact with that number, thereby we will give you the access of our classes of free classes. So this is our about the foundation course children. So we are using the digital panel through by creating the wonderful videos to get the concept to be understood. We are well presenting the videos, the basics, thereby you can understand the basic level to the higher level. So this is our about the foundation course children. So this is up to the very important news. So let's start the session. So here we go. So till now 16th question we solved the top level MCQs part 1 questions. So in the 16th question onwards we ended it up, right? So here we discussing the coming to the 17th question. So see children, what they asked, fungi can be distinguished by, they are asking what are the characteristics of the fungi. Of course the fungi what is the characteristic of fungi children? So they are mostly multicellular. Now they are mostly multicellular. There are mostly multicellular and multinucleate. So they have 2 types. If they are multicellular, mostly they are multicellular, and they are unicellular also. They are unicellular also. What are the examples of unicellular children? Examples of unicellular is yeast. Right, the good example of the fungi, the unicellular is yeast. It is a single cell organism of the fungi, and we can see through only the microscope. So there are many of them are multinucleate. Examples are mushrooms, right? So these are, we can see the nectar. So as a multinucleate, and multinucleate microscope is also there. The good example is for this is rhizopus. It is a bread mold. So these molds create the nuisance in the bakeries. So these are we learned about it, right? So these are the some of the characteristics of fungi. They asked based on the options, we have to select the one of the correct options. They have the chlorophyll? No. The most of the fungi are saprophytic. They are involved in the decomposition, right? That means they can't prepare their own food materials, as they are, you know, as they are multinucleate also, multicellular also, they can't prepare their own food because they doesn't have the chlorophyll. So this is the first statement is absolutely right. The first statement is, children, absolutely right. Coming to the second one, presence of chitin in the cell wall. Of course, the cell wall is made up of the fungi having the cell wall. Yes, the fungi having the cell wall, it is made up of chitin. It is made up of chitin. The fungi having the cell wall, it is made up of chitin. And presence of plastids. No, there is no presence of plastids. There is no presence of plastids. Here are the characteristic features of fungi. So they are heterotrophic. They are not autotrophic. Those who are considered the autotrophic are, they can prepare their own food materials by themselves, right? So plants are the good examples. Algae is a good example for the autotrophic nutrition because they can prepare their own food. What is meant by heterotrophic? Heterotrophic is nothing but they are dependent. They are dependent on other organisms. Most of the fungi are dependent. They are heterotrophic because they mostly act as parasites and saprophytes, right? They obtain energy by decomposing organic material, So these are the structures. They are, what are the made up of? What are the structures are made up of? The structure of the fungi is made up of hyphae, right? The root like structures they having the, so they have hyphae. They are called the long slender filaments. What we call, children? They are hyphae. The twisted hyphae, the collection of hyphae, we call it as mycelium. There may be septate or aseptate. There may be septate or aseptate or aseptate. What is meant by separate, children? So they are having the hyphae having they have the partitions, right? They have the partitions. Aseptate means they don't have any partitions. So they don't have any partitions. These partitions, you know, these hyphae, by the mycelium, they release some chemical substances which can easily break down the food materials. As they decomposes, they can get the, you know, food as by the parasitic nature, you know, by the saprophytic nature. When the dead material, decomposing material, they act on it, and through releasing the, you know, chemical substance, they break down break down that you know, dead organic materials. Then it will absorb. So thereby it can transfer to the whole part of the fungi. This is what the fungi, you know, hyphae. So the cell walls contain chitin. What are the bacterial cell walls? This is made up of, children. They are, you know, is the bacteria having the cell wall? Of course they are having the cell wall. The bacteria cell wall is made up of polysaccharides. So they have, because of the cell wall only, peptidoglycans. So sorry, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycans. So thereby, you know, that is why the bacteria is not get affecting, you know, can easily affect the multicellular organisms because of the cell wall. The fungi and you know, bacteria. The fungi and bacteria can easily, you know, affect the multicellular organisms because of the cell wall. The fungi having the cell wall which is made up of chitin. So this is what about the fungi, children. So here the first statement and second statement are correct. So the answer is A and B. The answer is A and B. So this is the correct answer. Next question, which one of the following produce antibiotics? Which one of the following among them, the options given here, what is they are asking antibiotics? What are meant by antibiotics, children? They can prevent the bacterial infections in our body by the antibiotics taken through vaccinations also, and so their main act on to prevent the disease. How they can act? They doctor, by the prescription of doctor only we can take the antibiotics, because they give the courses. So if they said to have the tablets of 5 days, we have to have it. I mean, in middle of the days you get cured also, you have to take the tablet. Why you have to take the tablet? Because when it is affecting, so antibiotics will affect the cell wall of the bacteria or fungi. So when it is we are taking the course, they usually attack the cell wall of the that microorganism, and then it will it make it the bacterial infection or fungal infection, make it to reduce. So if you are not taking the tablet regularly, what will happen, children? So it again the cell wall built of the fungi or bacteria can build against the medicine. So thereby again you will get ill. So we have to, that is we have to continuously, if they set the course, you have to complete the course. Then easily can prevent the bacterial infections or bacterial diseases affected for the human beings. So here what they asked, which one of the following produce antibiotics? So mucor they asked, Rhizopus, Agaricus, Penicillium. So we also know that here it is, the answer is Penicillium. So through the Penicillium notatum, the antibiotics are prepared. So this is the antibiotic, children. It is the antibiotic prepared. What Penicillium is come under the category of the fungi. Penicillium is come under the category of the fungi, right? So the answer is C. In 17th question the answer is D. In 18th question the answer is D. The first who discovered the antibiotic is Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming is the first who discovered the penicillium antibiotic, right? This is about the 18th question, the answer is C. In the 17th question the answer is D. So coming to the next question, children. Here is the they given study of fungi is known as. What is study of fungi is known as? We already studied that study of fungi is algae is called phycology. The study of algae is called phycology. 1 minute, children. Okay. So the study of fungi is known as mycology, right? The answer is D. Mycology is the study of fungi is known as mycology. What is phycology, children? Phycology is study of algae. Study of algae. The study of algae is called as phycology, right? So the answer is in between first and second options. You may confuse. Don't confuse that. The study of fungi is known as mycology and study of algae is called phycology. So the answer of this question is option B. So none of this question is also not answer for it, and the ecology is not considered as the study of fungi, right? So the answer is B is the answer. Coming to the pasteurization is a method invented by. They are asking pasteurization. What is meant by pasteurization, children? So these have the very interesting story, children. So discovery of pasteurization first discovered by Louis Pasteur. By the name of his only we are keeping the pasteurization. What is meant by pasteurization? So here the process of excessive heat. So by the excessive heat, what will happen, children? Microorganisms present in that will not grow, right? So after the excessive heat around 70 degrees, it should be sent into through small thin pipes, thereby the sudden cooling will be happen. So again they are packed out. Mainly this is used in the milk, for the storing of milk for long period. To increase the shelf period of milk, the pasteurization method is mostly used. And coming here the discovery of pasteurization, first discovered by the Louis Pasteur. First he examined to avoid the spoilage of wine. First he done the process to wine. When it is after to avoid the spoilation, it becomes vinegar. If he is not doing the process of pasteurization, the wine is turning to vinegar, right? So after what he did, he heated the over excessive heat he given. So he did the experiment. So what will happen? The growth of the microorganisms is reduced, and suddenly around 70 degrees he make it the same at around 70 degrees of temperature. He heated the wine, thereby the growth of the microorganisms reduced. After suddenly they, the wine should be traveled with thin tubes, thereby the sudden cooling will be happen. That process again he stored it, that increases the shelf life period of wine. So the same process he would be applied to the later milk also. His same process he applied to the milk also. That is what by pasteurization. So we mainly it is very helpful for the milk, because in day to day life the the milk should be the available for the people. So here the pasteurization is the process of using heat to destroy pathogens in food, and pasteurization of milk means that has been heated in excessive temperature around 70 degrees, then it makes to kill, that is making sudden cooling. It will allows the shelf life period of the milk will be increased. So this is about the pasteurization, children. So here what they asked, pasteurization is a method invented by, is it Edward Jenner or Alexander Fleming or Louis Pasteur? So we discussed the two scientists mainly are Louis Pasteur and Alexander Fleming. Who is the first antibiotics invented by the Alexander Fleming? He is for the antibiotics. He is the discoverer of antibiotics. What is Louis Pasteur, the work he done? He invented the process of pasteurization. By his name only they kept the name. For the process of the experiment they only given the name as pasteurization. So Louis Pasteur, what he did, children? So he avoided the spoilers of wine. First he experimented through the wine. As the excessive heat will be applied to the wine, then it is avoided spoiling, because the pathogens present in that wine will be, they are to be, and they are to be killed by the excessive heat around 70 degrees. He make it that it is not let turn into the vinegar. Thereby what will happen? The shelf life period of wine will be increased, right? That is same as applied to the milk also. So this is about the 20 question, children. So here the answer is C. Here the answer is C. So coming to the next question, children. Here is the question, algae differ from fungi in being. So what are the differences of algae from fungi? So algae having the presence of chlorophyll. Of course they have the chlorophyll, that is why they can prepare their own food. Because of the chlorophyll only the algae can prepare their own food. With the help of the sunlight they can prepare their own food. They can prepare their own food. Is fungi can prepare their own food? No. They cannot prepare their own food because there is a absence of chlorophyll in the fungi, right? So what is meant by, so children, so and what is the another characteristic feature of the algae, children? Half of the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, that should be fixed by the algae only, right, children? So there is no own food material can prepared by the fungi. Algae can prepare their own food. So what is meant by heterotrophic, children? They are dependent. Is the algae are dependent? No. So the algae is not dependent. They have the chlorophyll. They can prepare their own food material. So what is autotrophic, children? They can prepare their own food. Is the correct apt for the algae? So B is the correct answer. Let's see the two more options also. What is parasitic? Parasitic means which they will affect the host. They will affect the host. So here it is, the algae does not come under the group of parasitic, and saprophytic means they act on the decomposed dead animals, plants and all that. So here the D option is also wrong. So the correct option for this question is autotrophic, because algae is different from fungi because they can prepare their own food. That is why we consider them as autotrophic. They are not dependent. They are not using the mode of parasitic mode and also saprophytic mode. So these are two modes, and these are the two modes it is shown by the fungi only. That is why we consider fungi as heterotrophic. Heterotrophic. This is about the fungi, children. So coming to the next question, The transmission and infection of Entamoeba histolytica. Is Entamoeba histolytica is a bacteria or fungi or protozoa or algae, children? So the answer is Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan. It is a protozoan. It is a protozoan. Protozoan are the first eukaryotic animals. First eukaryotic animals. Why we call them eukaryotic animals, children? Because they have similar with animals. They have the same similarities with animals because they are having the animal cells doesn't have cell wall. Animal cells doesn't have cell wall. Animal cells doesn't have cell wall. So animals doesn't have cell wall. So same the same feature was shown by the protozoans also. That is why we considered as Entamoeba histolytica. Protozoans are the first eukaryotic animals. Here what they ask in the transmission and infection of Entamoeba histolytica through. As it is a protozoan, children, it needs the host to affect to affect the host and derive from nutrients from it. So here how it is they are asking how it is transmission. So what are the symptoms they will show? So they have the loose stools, diarrhea there, constipation will be there, headache, fatigue. These are all the symptoms we can see by the effect of Entamoeba histolytica. As it is a protozoan, children, they are affecting. So the transmission of Entamoeba histolytica is through the contaminated food and water. It should be travelled. By the contaminated food and water, it travels to the one person to the another person. This is about the 22nd question, children. So here we see the next question. 1 minute, children. So here the answer is the first B is autotrophic, and coming to the 22nd question, Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan. As it is passes through the contaminated food and water, it passes to the humans. As it shows the symptoms of diarrhea and also constipation, stomachache and fatigue. These are the common symptoms which the persons are affected by the this protozoan Entamoeba histolytica. Coming to the next question, children. Here the bacterial virus is called, they are asking. So most of the viruses will attack the other organisms through bacteriophage only. So virus which attack the bacteria, and that with the help of that bacteria they are called as bacteriophage. So the virus will first attack the bacteria, then it is be considered as the bacteriophage. That bacteriophage will take over the machinery of the host, and by that take overing the machinery of the protein synthesis will be happen. With the help of the protein synthesis, they can grow this army of the virus, and then at last it lyses the cell. Then after lysing it, the all army will be affect the different kinds of cells in the body. In the human body there are 3.72 trillion cells will be there, children. So that is why viruses are, as they are not considered as the living or non-living also, as they are in the borderline in between, the effect much more effect on will be there on the the multicellular organisms, mainly animals and humans and plants. So here the answer is bacteriophage. So common cold disease, it is a bacterial disease they are asking, it is a viral disease or protozoan disease or algal disease. So it is not bacterial disease, children, it is not also protozoan disease, it is also algal disease, it is a viral disease. Common cold is caused by the rhinovirus, children. Common cold is caused by the rhinovirus. It is maybe up to the human beings up to 3 days of time. At least 3 days of time the common cold will be affected to the humans. So here the symptoms are the sneezing, runny nose, headache, sore throat. Because of the cold they used to suffer these suffer these type of symptoms. So if you want to in the rainy season, you most have to be take preventive measures to get the cold, and you have to be avoid contact with the who are affected for the cold. So it can be transmitted through the, it is a contaminated contaminated disease only. So the common cold is caused by the viral disease. It is a viral disease because the causative agent of the common cold is rhinovirus. Causative agent is rhinovirus. Here up to this children, and coming to the next question. The vector of the malaria is in humans is, they are asking vector. What is mean vector children? It is a vehicle to transmit the disease. To transmit the disease, it is a vector. So, they are asking the vector of malaria. So, which organism that will transmitting the malaria? So, it is absolutely mosquito children. So, if they are asking specific which mosquito, so the answer is Anopheles mosquito. The Anopheles mosquito is causative for the caused by which is responsible for the malaria disease, which is transporting the protozoan plasmodium in it, and through with the affected person who are affected with the malaria, it sucks the bite of blood from that affected person, then it transmitted through the another humans by biting them. So, this is how the malaria is transported. It is a vehicle, it is a vector, it is transmitting from one to another. So, the mostly they are mostly they are affected mosquitoes are pregnant females. So, this is the Anopheles mosquito who are causative agent for the malaria, causative vector for the malaria, which is transporting from affected person to the non-affected person. So, here the Anopheles is the mosquito which is the vector for malaria in humans. So, coming to the next question children, which of the following involves the use of microorganisms? What are the advantages of the microorganisms children? Some bacteria used to make the curd also, yogurt products and all that. Some are useful in the vaccination, some are useful in the antibiotics. So, some are friend, some are foe, because they are affecting the animals, it shows the negative impact on their lives. So, in plants and animals humans also they are affecting. So, that is why we call them as foe. So, here they are asking the which of the following involves in the use of microorganisms. They are asking involves use of microorganisms. Here the production of chemical fertilizers, no, they are chemically used, they are chemically prepared in the industries. They are chemically prepared in the industries. So, production of fireworks, no, the answer is absolutely not correct. So, the production of antibiotics is the correct. None of this does not the answer. None of this is not the answer. So, answer is the antibiotics. What are antibiotics children? Antibiotics are the medicines that help in step of that helps in the to prevent the bacterial infections of our body. It is caused by the bacteria. Stop infections caused by the bacteria. They do this by killing bacteria by keeping them coping. So, see, actually the antibiotics what they will do? They will prevent the bacterial infections mainly, bacterial diseases mainly in the humans. So, they are preventing the they are preventing the growth of the bacteria in our body. So, these are the nothing but the antibiotics. They means against the word. The word antibiotics means what it means children? They fight against the bacteria. So, that is why they are given the word antibiotics means against life. Any drug that kills germs in our body is technically considered as a antibiotics. So, the answer is for this is production of antibiotics. So, what are the antibiotics children? Penicillium, streptomycin, these are the examples of these are the examples of antibiotics. 1 minute. So, here what are the examples of antibiotics children? The antibiotics examples are penicillium, streptomycin. Penicillium already we know children, streptomycin are the examples of the antibiotics. Coming to the next question children. So, here what is caused by the harmful effects of certain microorganisms? Of course, it is done, right? No. Okay. So, what is caused by harmful effects here they are asking. In before question we used to ask what are the following microorganism uses they asked. Now, they are asking the harmful effects. Of course, they affect many more, right? They cause bacterial diseases, fungal infections and all that. So, here what is caused by the harmful effects of certain microorganisms. So, fermentation. So, here that does not show any involvement of the fermentation. So, 1 minute. So, the fermentation. What is meant by fermentation children? they convert the sugar. They broke down the sugar into alcohol, right, with the help of carbon dioxide. It is occurs through the bacteria, mostly fungi, right. The breakdown of sugars into alcohol, that nothing but the fermentation. So here what is the cause? Heart disease in humans? No, right. So production of antibiotics, of course their involvement in production of antibiotics, but it is a useful thing for the microorganisms, right, for us, but they are asking the harmful effects. So the answer is food poisoning. When you leave the food entire night, what will happen, children? So you observe the next morning, you will observe some microorganisms grow on it. So what they release? They release some chemical reactions. They release some chemical substances that we call it as toxic substance. If you take that food, what will happen? You will get ill. So there we get the food poisoning will be happen. So certain microorganisms which can affect the human beings. So it like if we can see if you ate that food, what the symptoms they will cause. So as by the food preservation, we should not take if you not preserve naturally, if you not kept the food into the refrigerator, what will happen? The food usually spoiled by the next morning. How it is spoiled? But because the microorganisms which will release the chemical substance, that we call it as toxic substances, that cause the food is poison. So if you take that food, so you got nausea, diarrhea, abdominal cramps, headache, fever, dizziness. This is about the harmful effects which is caused by the microorganisms. So the answer is food poisoning is the correct answer for this question. Coming to the next one, children, malaria is caused by. Of course, malaria is caused by, it is a protozoan, fungus or algae or bacteria. Of course, caused by the plasmodium, right. Plasmodium is transmitted through the vector named mosquito anopheles. So here the malaria is caused by virus? No. Fungus? No. Bacteria? No. So malaria is caused by the protozoan. The answer is C. Here the answer is B. So this is about the 28th question, children. Coming to the next question. So here asking the branch of biology which deals with the study of microorganisms. The study of microorganisms we call it as microbiology. The study of various microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, virus, so algae, we call it them as microbiology. As they are unicellular organisms, we can't see that an egg die, right. So the study of what are microorganisms? They are single celled organisms, we can't see the egg die. So as they are single celled microscopic organisms, we call them as microbes, right, or microorganisms. The study of microorganisms we call it as microbiology, and those who studies the microbiology, studies means their research will go on for the microbiology, we call them as microbiologists. So the branch of biologists, biology which deals with the study of microorganisms, we call it as microbiology. The microbiology having the bacteriology, virology, mycology, parasitology. The study of bacteria we call it as bacteriology. The study of virus is called virology, and the study of fungi is called mycology. The study of parasites we call it as parasitology. So the branch of biology that that deals with the smallest organisms like bacteria, fungi, virus, parasites, we call them as microbiology, which comes with where can you see the microorganisms with their neck dye? No, especially we have to use the microscope. So in that virus you have to can see with only as they are the smallest, then the bacteria they can be seen only with the electron microscope only. They can see only with the electron microscope only. So they are what is microbiology, children? It is a study of living organisms like bacteria, virus, fungi and algae that are too small which cannot be seen at the naked eye. This is what about the study of microorganisms. The answer is microbiology. The answer is microbiology. I hope you all get this, children. They asked 1 mark type of questions also. The answer is C. Coming to the last question, children. These organisms have an ability. These organisms have an ability to help the recycling nutrients. Which organisms are these? They are asking which are involved in the recycling. What is meant recycling, children? How it is obtained? Again go back into the, if you are, so we take the good example of nitrogen. So we are, in nitrogen cycle what we discussed, we are taking atmosphere nitrogen, again they are 78%, wait I will say. So in atmosphere there is 78% of nitrogen is present. How it is maintained? By stable way, because if we are using for our purposes, although we do not have that mechanism, it is indirectly or happening, we are using the nitrogen, it should be reduced, no. Why it is not reduced? It is again get back into the atmosphere. So in the nitrogen cycle we discussed, children. So these organisms have ability to recycling of nutrients. Which organisms are these? They are asking. So which bacteria, children? So in the good example is bacteria Rhizobium. Bacteria Rhizobium is the bacteria which helps in the fixation of nitrogen from the atmosphere. Why we can't use the nitrogen, children? We don't have that mechanism, right? Is the animals have? Does the animals also doesn't have any mechanism to fix the nitrogen in it. So which organisms have ability to fix the nitrogen? They are bacteria. Bacteria especially like Rhizobium can fix the nitrogen. The mainly bacteria can fix. Which plants can fix? Leguminous plants. So leguminous, 1 minute, children. Okay. Leguminous plants. What are the examples of leguminous plants, children? Yes, there are examples of groundnut. The examples of the leguminous plants is groundnut, pea plant, beans. These are the examples of leguminous plants. They can have in their root nodules the bacteria is present, can fix the nitrogen itself. Thereby as it utilizes it, it get back into it gives to the nitrogen to the soil also. And by we indirectly rely on the plant foods, so we are getting the nitrogen. So what is the useful of nitrogen to have it? So they are used in helping making of nucleic acids like DNA, RNA, amino acids, proteins. So what not, children? So nitrogen is requirement for the animals also, plants also. How it is going on? First plants fix the nitrogen, then again it takes to the plant eaters like herbivores, they eat by the plant eaters like herbivores like cow, goat. So as they are eaten by the carnivores, animals are getting the nitrogen. So and humans, they indirectly rely on the plants and animals for the food, whereas they are showing the they are dependent organisms for the other food materials. So we have the main staple food we are using is rice and wheat, right? Paddy and wheat. So these two staple food require more amount of nitrogen, that thereby we are indirectly getting the nitrogen itself, right? So here the answer is bacteria. So the best example of the bacteria is Rhizobium. Bacteria can able to fix the nitrogen. So they are asking these organisms able to fix recycling of nutrients, as by their decomposers they consume meat and dead plants. By what organisms, how they can get back into the atmosphere? But with the help of the bacteria only. Bacteria is nothing but they can help in the as they are friendly microbes in the it is usefulness, and they act dead plants and animals. As their primary decomposers are fungi and bacteria, they get back into the way again the nitrogen will get back into the atmosphere with the help of the bacteria only. What is that bacteria name called? Is denitrifying bacteria. Denitrifying bacteria. Right, children? So it is with the help of the bacteria only it is all happening. So that is why the answer is A. The answer is A for this question. So here is the today's session, children. So let's meet in the tomorrow session. Before I am winding up the class, I would like to say very important news for you, children. So here we are NEET World offering the foundation summer camp course for the upcoming students of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th students. So in this we are mainly, in these 15 days 1 week class are absolutely free. There is no 1 rupee payment of with you also in the first 1 week classes, and these 15 days we are planning to get basic topics from the regarding the exams of core concepts of NEET and JEE with basics. If you have strong basics, you can solve any type of questions in the in 11th and 12th standards. For to solve that type of questions, if you want to qualify those exams, mainly you need more basics in it. So we are explaining the core concepts from the regarding the exams of NEET and JEE. And from the basics we are explaining through wonderful animations and videos. We are making the videos to get the basic concept to be understood. So here the 10 the top more concepts we will explain that. So which subjects are involved in here is physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics children, and the next 2 days are the activity based learning will be there. So through the activities we are going to understand the basics, and in the 13th day we are we are conducting the quizzes. By that we can check your efficiency, and in the 13th day in 14th day we are keeping the cumulative assessments of all subjects we are teased you the subjects of physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics. And the last most important day children, we are providing the career guidance program. Although you have the goal, you don't know how to achieve it, what type of exams are there if you to achieve, and what types of basics you need from those concepts, all should be discussed in the last day, and it is very useful to you children. So those who are from the 6th to 10th standard, it is very useful to you. So the batches are already going on children. If you are really interested to do the foundation summer camp, you can happily come to our institute name called NEET World, present in Hyderabad, Narayani near metro station. Those who want to join through online, you can the down scrolling number is there children. Contact with that number, then we will give you the access on the app name called MedWorld. This is up to today's session. Let's meet in the tomorrow session children. Thank you.